thousands of years ago, I'm not sure if they were civil engineers. Or maybe they were. They just didn't have the title civil engineers because civilizations were built across the riverbank, and the person who built it, we don't know. They must have been civil engineers just without the title. No civilization would have existed, and no civilization will ever exist without civil engineers, because we got to be constructing. We got to be constructing houses, we got to be constructing bridges, we got to be constructing roads, and we got to be making sure that things happen the way it actually works functionally. That's why civil engineering is a program that will never go out of business. And today, I'm going to talk about civil engineering. So what is civil engineering? Civil engineering, as I said, is all about constructing, building, developing something amazing, something extraordinary, something that people could not even imagine out of nothing at all. In a land, barren land, stands statues. In a barren land stands mansion. In a barren land stands infrastructures that people come from thousands of miles away just to click a picture with. That has been possible through civil engineers. Today, we talk about what comes under civil engineering. Is it just construction, or is it more than that? Well, under civil engineering, we are going to talk about geotechnical engineering, we are going to talk about environmental engineering, we are going to talk about transportation engineering, we are obviously going to talk about structural engineering, and then we are going to talk about construction management. Now, we are going to talk about structural engineering, environmental engineering, geotechnical engineering, construction engineering, transportation engineering, and water resource engineering. So let's start with the structural engineering itself, because construction, civil engineering is all about structure, is what we believe, right? So if you are someone who wants to be building structures, may it be of metal, may it be of wood, may it be of concrete, you're studying structural engineering. In this particular program, you're going to go in depth about different set of materials in use while studying, while building structures of different nature, for different purpose and of different kind. So structural engineering is for those who always have looked into building structures. Second up is geotechnical engineering. Why is it so important? Is for the fact that millions and billions of dollars has been spent on building structures in lands that couldn't stand firm. That is why geotechnical engineering has become so important. It studies about the dirt and the stone beneath our feet. Will the structure withhold force of nature in years to come, is what geotechnical engineers study. And basically, I call them the life-saving engineers, because there have been life lost in numerous countries all across the world just because the soil quality was not tested properly before a structure was built. Third up is the environmental engineering. We all of a sudden have become so conscious about the environment, right? That's because we were not at all conscious about it over the years, and we have done things that the coming generation is never going to forgive us for. That is why we want to be rectifying this, and civil engineers are taking matters personally by studying environmental engineering, where they are going to construct environmental friendly structures, use environmental friendly materials, use environmental friendly techniques, tools, and technology to ensure the mother nature stays unharmed while structures can keep growing, where civilizations can keep developing, but without impacting the future generation. Fourth is the water resource engineering. When we think of important things in life, we cannot think of anything more important than air and water, right? So obviously, water has to be studied by civil engineers, because no civilization was built far away from waters. We only talk about those civilizations from the past that were built right next to the riverbank, right next to the oceans, right next to the seas, because water has been an integral part of every single construction all across the world. I have not come across any construction in this world where water was not a major factor. So now, engineers are studying water resource because water is in scarcity. These set of engineers understand that, and they are working on maintaining the flow of the water to avoid flash floods, to make sure the water flow is maintained, to make sure civilizations can grow, to ensure that natural disasters could be avoided in a systematic way. And that is why water resource engineering has become really important. Next is the transportation. No matter how amazing of a civil engineer you are, no matter what big of a construction company are you working in, if you cannot get the resources to be building a construction in that particular site, it's of no use. That's when transportation comes into play. Transportation engineering or civil engineering basically talks about the roads, the bridges, which are going to connect one location with another, which is going to make life easier for people and construction possible. Last but the most important, the construction engineering under civil engineering, which basically deals with developing the entire construction, managing the budget, finishing things on time, managing the project, and everything related to any construction. Construction engineers are people with business mindset. They understand how and when a project should be conducted, how and when a project should be concluded, and how and when a project should be stopped depending on the need of the project. So basically, these are the major areas of civil engineering. However, there are some adding up. For example, now there are specific programs like construction management and engineering management, which I'll be talking about in the later videos.